DK, before starting with you, how did this story come about? Is it like all of us, have you also saw this happening around you, these discussions, and especially the paranoia that Gulshan's character is shown having, because that's absolutely relatable.
Okay, a couple of things here is see, once you see the film, you'll realize it's not what it appears to be. It's not as straightforward as it appears to be. So there is a little bit of a quirky element there in what you see. There's a story that's written by Reshu Nath, and it also happens to be the first time we're actually directing a story that's not written by us, in fact. But yeah, so when we had this brief, we got this brief, when we had this chat with Aparna from Amazon and had this brief to make a movie set during the times of pandemic or around the pandemic, but stories of hope and, cheer.
We just wanted to have something unique to represent this time, and also to look back later and say that we made that during that time, and it still looks good. And we thought, what can we do that is not sad, that is not dreary, and because we're living through it anyway, and what can we do lighthearted yet a little twisted.
But DK, I remember seeing this tweet of yours where you wrote that how you were watching this series of people. Of course, it was about pre-pandemic time, and you were quite freaked out at how people are, openly hugging, kissing, holding hands, and you felt a little weird because, of course, now we are in the times of social distancing. So if I ask both of you, from whatever I've seen of Gulshan's character, how he's so paranoid about contracting the virus and keeping everything sanitized, are these elements picked from either of your personality right now? Have you been like this?
See, Raj is more paranoid than me in general.
The idea is that there is always a bit of you in many characters, and you exaggerate it and you explore it further. So even I'm sure Gulshan was also like that. So when I told Gulshan the story, he's like, I'm like this too. So I said, let's two hypochondriacs make this film.
Hypochondriac.
So, and then we told Sayami, and Sayami is like, my dad is like that too. So we're all. The idea is the idea is always to be relatable to that character, but then where can the character take you?
For you, Sayami, how was it to be on set with these three extremely talented men, and also for your character? I mean, I can see that there is, at least from the trailer, there looks a contrast, because you say that, how much time does it take for a person to fall in love? And Gulshan replies, the same time that it takes for a person to get coronavirus. So it's like you are still approaching that situation with some sense of normalcy. Could you talk to me about that, playing that character, being in that world?
So the first part of your question, it was complete excitement, because I've said this before, I've never been excited to drive to Mud Island, and I was super excited to go and get on set. So just the whole excitement of working after 8 months is, it just makes you more grateful when you don't get things, and then when you receive them again, you realize how important they are. So I've terribly missed working. So I was very happy to be on set, very happy that Raj and DK called me for this particular part. And the part, it's a very, very exciting part. You all probably know you'll have just seen a little hint of what the character is. With Gulshan's character, you've seen it's pretty evident from the trailer that he's a hypochondriac. But with my character, there's so much of the character which hasn't been shown in the trailer. So I'm very excited for people to watch the film. I wanted to play this character. Like last year, I told Roshan, my co-star from Choke, that I wanted to play this character, and then it kind of happened a year later. So it was just very exciting to play the part, and I didn't get too much time to prep for the part, but that kind of is a new learning also, because I've always approached roles where I've prepped a lot. This particular film I couldn't, so it was a very new experience and new learning.
And to both of you, Raj and DK, when did the script come to you guys?
That's what we started brainstorming. Once we talked to Amazon Aparna, and then we were thinking, I don't want to do this kind of story, I don't want that kind of story. So we were just thinking as to. I told Aparna also that it'll jumpstart once we have a story, that it'll jumpstart by itself. Basically, in this, Priyanka, what we try to do is it's a little departure from other stuff we've made, like the previous ones, the Family Man or the Stree or Go Go Go, whatever it is. It's a little departure in it, in terms of that we focus on visuals. We wanted a visual treatment that you don't get usually out of a short film, because of the constraints, right? Because of the budgets and the way you shoot and stuff. Usually, you tend to focus only on the story or the certain emotion in it. But we thought, why not flip it and actually try for a visual experience, given the limitations.
Gulshan, you just fit into Raj and DK's world so perfectly. I mean, this is the first time, of course, you're working with them. But when I watched the trailer, I just thought that this is, a Jodi made in heaven. Do you also feel that you kind of fit perfectly into this world? Could you
I felt at home completely, and I think Raj told me, like, I don't know why we haven't worked with you so far. So it was like that.
Same question. Priyanka is also asking, how come? Like
it was really, and it was like, I don't know, I didn't feel bad at all. It felt wonderful to like listen to them say that. Say that I don't know why we haven't like really worked. And I felt really at home. I get their films. I'm a fan of their films. I understand what they're trying to make. There is their quirky sense of humor. I enjoy that and I understand it. And I think like I can be part of it. So I felt really at home.
He is actually a person who kind of very naturally brings a quirk, no matter how serious or how funny, whatever. He naturally brings this, I might say, eccentricity or a quirk to a character, right? I think it's a natural personality is like that. And as it turns out, yes, that kind of a personality works very well with the kind of stuff we tend to make. And I mean, you kind of answer that yourself. And I don't know if I can beat that.
To Raj and DK, I mean, of course, you've been one of the first directors to come on the OTT platform, given this massive Family Man to India, which has done so well globally as well. And now we have reached a time where theaters, of course, are not operating well. The occupancy has decreased, and people, of course, are also not willing to go back to theaters. Do you feel this is how it's going to stay? Are we seeing a huge shift in the future? Are you comfortable letting go of the big screen experience as filmmakers for the time being, especially with globally, like how Warner Brothers have, decided to put their films of 2021 to HBO Max? So how do you both look at it?
So I don't think films are going away at all. This is a temporary phase, of course, and of course, a lot of filmmakers are happy that their films are getting to release on digital platform. There are advantages that come with the digital platform, especially with some films. There are some films which can be enjoyed in the comfort of your home. It's like reading a book. Watching a show is like reading a book. You're doing it at your own pace, in your own environment, in your own bed. Whereas watching a film is a little more of an outdoorsy entertainment kind of an event. But I think some films are meant for theater, and I think people will just wait and lap it up. Like for me, I can't wait to go watch Tenet in theater, no matter what, pandemic or not.
As a filmmaker, we all of us want our films to be, our stuff to be on big screen. That's how we became filmmakers. That's your experience of getting to where you are. There are no two things about it. But for the last few years, I've always realized that the medium was slightly secondary for me. That if it's going to be on theater or TV, I wasn't like a prejudiced guy. No way, it has to be like this. So for me, it was just the content. So we doubled down on series 3 years ago, whenever we did the Family Man, saying that, I really enjoying series, watching series, and I want to make one. So we kind of put aside a film to make the series.